you start your videos?
It's always really awkward is the answer to that.
This is a life update episode, and we just moved finally from Ohio
Yeah,
to Georgia.
We were kicking it with my family up in Cleveland for like 4 months. While waiting for Leah's job to finally start, and it finally started.
I had my first day of work today, and Avery made my coffee for me this morning when I woke up, and had cookies waiting for me when I got back because they're perfect.
I mean, I am not perfect. Sometimes I'm a jerk. But yeah, that's kind of part of what we want to talk about in this video is like, just like the stress and stuff of moving and like navigating all that and all the issues that have arisen, but also the good stuff.
And how adult life is hard and literally everything can go wrong.
So we got to Atlanta and our new rental home.
No, describe what happened when we tried to get here, because we got here on Friday, and while trying to drive to our new home, we were stuck in traffic.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what are you...
For ages. Yeah. And, like, I mean, major roads in Atlanta shut down. Yeah. I-85, like, interstates that are always hopping were, like tumbleweeds. It was almost creepy to see them that empty. And so I was like, Avery, like, Google what is happening. Yeah. And it was the freaking presidential motorcade.
It was Trump. As if we already didn't hate him. He made it worse.
And then he went to the Alabama game and made us lose.
Anyway, yeah, so that was an inauspicious start to our time in Atlanta. Because we got stuck in Trump traffic for a while before we finally got to our rental home.
Then when we showed up at the house, the realtor didn't have the updated code for the lockbox for the one single key to this place.
Yeah. So we couldn't get into the house for a moment there.
We weren't going to be allowed to stay until he got the lockbox key. Yeah. And he tried for like 2 hours and called multiple people and then finally got it unlocked so we could stay. Yeah. Also, the heat was not on.
Yeah. We have had no heat. So we got here on Friday. And it is now Tuesday. We haven't had heat until like 30 minutes ago.
The gas man just left.
He was wonderful.
I was so happy.
Yeah, he's our hero.
I love him. Sebastian,
Thank you, Sebastian.
My hero. It's because it's going to be the very coldest tonight. It's supposed to be 27 degrees. So
we could see before he got here, like an hour before he got here.
We could see our breath.
Yeah, we could see our breath indoors. It was very cold, so that's what we've been dealing with all weekend. Another hitch in our move-in life is the Wi-Fi person. We scheduled to have someone come install the Wi-Fi for us.
They were supposed to come on Saturday.
Yeah, and they just didn't show up.
No, what happened was, the Xfinity internet person was supposed to come between 5 and 7 or something.
Yeah.
At 5:30, I received a call that was like, your tech's leaving because he's been there. So call and reschedule. And I was like, we've been here. Yeah. Ain't nobody showed up to our house. Yeah. And then the soonest they could work us in was yesterday. Mm-hmm. But that's only because I called again and they squeezed us into a cancellation.
Yeah. So
otherwise it would have been today.
And like the poor Wi-Fi person came and...
Oh, yeah.
When the landlord renovated this house, apparently he... had the cable lines all cut, so this poor guy had to stand out in the cold drilling a hole in the wall of our house. So he had to do, like, what is our landlord doing?
And the gas guy, Sebastian, just like had to go in the crawl space to access our stuff to turn on the gas for us, and he was like, by the way, there's no insulation under your flooring. Yeah, so it's just the floor, the concrete foundation, and the empty and cold crawl space. So we're gonna have kind of a high heating bill probably.
Yeah, so the point of all this has turned into a vent session because it's been a stressful time, but the point of this video is to like one part is like just what it's like trying to work it out together as a couple, and like this idea that like, you know, when you marry someone you make this sort of vow to be a helpmate to the person, So I feel like in the midst of this trouble, there's been some beautiful blessings. Like, we've had a lot of fun. We watched She-Ra last night, and it was a
Once
blast.
we finally got internet, we were
Yeah.
so pumped. We
Yeah.
bundled up in our blankets.
Yeah, immediately watched the new She-Ra season. But you know, like, there's been some wonderful points this week. We bought a mattress, like a full-size mattress, so we don't have to keep squeezing into a twin bed.
Was it just the first night we slept?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first night we slept on the twin bed, again, like old college times.
Yeah.
And it was kind of okay because, again, we didn't have
Huddling
heat.
for warmth, yeah.
So we were just under, like, 5 blankets.
Yeah, but it's definitely, it's nice. Like, we got a mattress, which is exciting. We don't have the frame for it yet. We don't have the money for that. But
we're going to sleep on the floor for a while.
Yeah, that's okay. But it's just, you know, we've had fun as well as trouble. And then the other thing is, for me, I don't know about you, but, like, I mentioned it before the gas person got here. I was like, if they also don't show up, like the Wi-Fi people didn't show up, I'm going to start to think that we've been cursed or something.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, like, my theology is that, like, you know, people say, like, oh, if something bad happens to you, it's like a punishment from God, or God's trying to teach you something like that. That is, like, the opposite of my theology. And yet, because that theology is so common in our culture, my brain can't help but go to, okay, all this bad thing, like, one thing after another has been going wrong. Maybe it is a punishment of some kind. Maybe we did do something
just been
wrong.
watching too much BuzzFeed Unsolved. And
Oh,
now
what, like
you're
the home is cursed?
Yeah.
And there's maybe, but like, how does one determine whether something is like a punishment from God or just bad luck? You know, I think part of it right now is most of the, like, this stuff, a lot of it is our landlord's fault. Hashtag eat the rich.
Eat the rich and burn their bones for warmth.
It's a capitalism problem. It's not God punishing us. We live in a corrupt society where we had no heat because our landlord, even though the lease said that the heat would be on for us for a few days after we moved in, so that we'd have time to get the gas
and we
set
moved
up.
in on, for people watching this far in the future, on
a Friday.
Veterans Day, the Friday before
so
a
bad.
3-day legal week, like holiday weekend. So much of the things that we needed
We
that
couldn't call to get.
they were closed.
Yeah.
So
bad.
like
plan.
he just literally doesn't care.
Yeah, the landlord doesn't care.
He also owns and
600
rents
houses.
like a zillion houses. So we are ants.
Yeah, he does not care about us. So, like, we could say, oh, yeah, this is God telling us, like, I don't know, that we're bad for being queer, or that, like, a sign we're not supposed to be in Atlanta or something. But much more likely is this is a systemic problem with capitalism, where the landlord didn't care to put in insulation to keep us warm, didn't care to put on gas to keep us warm.
But did care enough to put in granite countertops so it looked nice
Yeah,
in the
so
pictures.
so it looks nice, so we'll choose it. Like, all the surface thing, like the things you see on the surface are great, but they don't bother to tell you all the issues. It's a human problem, to me, more than like a God issue. And this isn't the video to dive into like what my theology is or anything. I can link to that or something. But it's just the idea that, like, shit happens. In chaplaincy, one of the chaplains, like, he didn't want to say shit happens and literally said poop occurs. And that's all I ever think of for this idea that sometimes, like, most of the time when bad things happen, it's not like a sign God hates you. Shit just happens. Poop occurs. But is that kind of how you feel about it? Like,
I mean, yeah, I've never once thought we were being punished.
Yeah, but I would also hesitate to tell your mom, because I feel like she would see it as a sign of some kind, you know?
Well, I also hesitate to often tell my parents when I am having problems, because I like to do things on my own.
Yeah.
And I don't want to worry them.
Yeah.
And they have enough on their plate already.
Yeah.
That's my thought process. And I feel like
meanwhile,
that's how
I'm
my
like, Mom, guess what's happening? We're dying.
And I knew that as soon as Avery found out there was no gas, they're over there texting their mom, and that she was going to worry and there was nothing she could do.
I'm sorry, Mom.
I don't like inflicting my troubles upon other people, which also means that I don't ask for help as much as I should.
Yeah, I feel like there's like that's good and bad at the same time.
There's a balance.
We've got to find like both of us are too much on the extreme, and together maybe we could find a balance. See, helpmates.
I also like don't. I remember when I first moved to Atlanta last year for my residency, and I had never lived alone, and I was living alone by myself in my apartment with no internet, and I just like cried for an entire day because I was so stressed about how to be an adult and like get the power set up and all of that stuff. So I'm very glad to have someone with me this time. It does make it a lot easier.
Yeah, having at least one person to sort of
even
share
if I
it with you.
Yeah. Even if I just want you there for your body heat.
Yeah, in this case. Well, and it is like, I can't necessarily make it better for you, and you can't like fix it all for me, but just like that co-suffering. We're in it together.
Misery loves company.
Yeah. And like that's not a bad thing, and so, you know, like we really are just like we're going through it together, and therefore can find the humor in the situation, can find little ways to make it better for each other.
Like our pastor said, we'll be telling this story for years to come.
Yeah, we really do. Like this move has cemented the idea in my mind that we really do complement each other. We've had a video about that, just kind of responding to this idea of complementarianism, where only two, like a cis man and cis woman, or like can be complementary, like is obviously BS. That's just wrong. And this move has cemented that for me, because the things that stress me out or that I'm bad at, she's good at, and vice versa. For instance, Leah walked around whacking all the daddy long legs because there were like at least like 5 daddy long legs per room. Yeah, per room in this house, just because it's not been occupied for a while, I guess.
You know, daddy long legs are good as far as spiders go, but 5 to 6 per room is just a little excessive.
Yeah, we've let the ones who are like up in the corners of the ceiling, those are still around, but the ones that were like all over the place, like in the shower and stuff, had to go. And I like, it's really like, I don't like killing bugs. Like, it makes me sad. So Leah's running around with our like broom, like whacking them. I think you got kind of into it, like you were having fun, even though it was killing.
It wasn't an adrenaline rush because I was frightened the entire
scared they'd,
time.
Like jump on you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's That
also because I didn't realize they must molt. Like I'd never realized that
that's why
like,
all the weird husks
little
everywhere.
Husks of spiders. So I would see those,
molt.
And it would be like last night, I was blow drying my hair for the first time in the house, and it like one of the husks flew towards my face, and I thought it was a spider.
Just launching itself at you.
Yes. So I think that the hairdryer stirred it up in the air, so I just used the air current to like push it away from me. Yeah. But it was frightening. Yeah. But I still like I can swallow my food enough to like kill some bugs. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, if anything needed heavy lifting,
I'm strong now. Yeah. Hashtag testosterone.
So I was like, you hear this.
But yeah, so like we've been really like balancing each other out and helping each other, even in the midst of a lot of stress and obnoxious issues like being frozen for 4 nights. But yeah, we finally have heat. I think it's
almost up to 60 degrees in here, and I'm really very
I know, I'm starting to feel warm. That. Like we're in like garbage, like I'm in garbage clothes right now because I'm just wearing the warmest things I have. Like I have leggings on under sweatpants. I was wearing 2 layers of socks.
I have thick socks on and slippers on because again, no insulation.
Yeah, it was so cold. Oh yeah, the floor is freezing cold.
We bought like a $25 space heater from Home Depot, and we named it Calcifer, and it's been our best friend. He has saved our lives.
Yes, that space heater.
We name everything. We've also named our house
Peggy.
Her name's Peggy.
Yeah. But yeah. That's the video. I don't think there is anything else I wanted to talk about.
We did want to talk about when the very first night we got here. We blessed the house. So
Thank you for reminding me. That was the main thing.
The day before, I looked up house blessings, and it's so cool to see. Like almost every religious tradition has a tradition or some rites to bless a new home, which I think is really cool.
It is.
And we actually used a pretty
Catholic one.
Yeah. It was from a Catholic website. There was a prayer for every single room in the house, specifically for the function of that room, which was really cool.
Like in the kitchen, it's about like nourishment and stuff.
The bathroom was related to health and keeping the occupants in good health.
Yeah.
And then we used some of Avery's holy water from Lourdes.
I have had it since 8th grade.
Whose is it?
Saint Bernadette, in France. Mary told her to like dig a spring, so she did, and that water is considered very holy. And so I got some my confirmation year in 8th grade, so that was half my lifetime ago. A little vial, and I've had it since then. And we used some of it to bless the house. Just like while like we would take turns, one person reading the prayer and the other just making a little sign of the cross on the door frame or wherever else made sense in the room. It was really sweet.
And then we had a couple of crosses too that you brought that you've had.
Yeah. From my house.
And we anointed those, and we've since, now that once we unboxed the hammer and nails, hung those up, one at our entryway and then one in our bedroom. Yeah.
The one in our bedroom is St. Bridget's cross. She is a Sapphic icon. And her cross has been over my bedroom door since I was an infant. So it just felt fitting to bring it here and have it there. And apparently in ancient Irish tradition, before Christianity came, Saint Bridget's cross was a Celtic symbol before Christianity, and it was put in the door frames of houses
for protection,
to protect the home, particularly from fire, but also from anything. So it's cool. Again, Leah and I are both very into like synthetism. That's what
syncretism.
Syncretism. That's the word.
I know your theology words.
I failed.
And it did make us feel a little better on our very first night here, when we were
safe.
cold and alone, and we're like, well, let's do this. And literally, as soon as we started doing the readings, I teared up, and then at the very end, I just like cried.
Yeah. Just, it was nice. It was a nice way to bring God into the home. Not that, that's already there, but like just to be aware of that presence and
to know that even if every single thing that can go wrong goes wrong, God is still there.
Yeah. Despite it all. Well, goodbye.
Don't end it like that.
Goodbye.
You're so weird.
How should we end it?
I don't know.
I'm really tired too, also.
Me too. I just realized how tired I am.
Yeah, we're going to bed soon. Good night. Goodbye.